All right, we're back. We're talking about GCF and LCM now. So GCF means greatest common factor, and when you're doing greatest common factor, kind of opposite to what you might want to think, you should be thinking small. So the greatest common factor is as small as or smaller than the smallest number given in the example or in the question, okay? And the LCM is the least common multiple. With this, you need to think big, so the number is as big as or bigger than the biggest number given. For GCF, you take only the variables that they have in common and to the smallest exponent. For least common multiple, you take every single variable that you have to the biggest exponent given. Okay, so here's our first example. I'll show you the fast way and then the right way. So for greatest common factor, we're thinking small. So between 21 and 33, 21 is a smaller number, so it has to be 21 or less. Okay, so right now automatically in my brain, I'm going to cancel out this 231 because it's bigger than 21, obviously. So that leaves us with 3. So we have a 3 here and a 3 here. So it's either A or C. Now, there's a couple of things that we could do here. We're thinking small. So obviously I have x2 and I have x3. You're going to want to take the x2. So right then and there, this says that the GCF is x to the third power. That's not true. It's x to the second power. So automatically, since we're thinking small here, C becomes your answer. If you didn't notice that, you should also notice that this one contains a z. They don't have a z in common, okay? They need to have a z in common. This one has one, this one does not. All right, so if we were doing this without multiple choice, we would have 21 and 33. It's kind of hard to write a 3. Sorry if that makes you sick. So for 21, our factors are 1 times 21. And then you could use your calculator. So 21 divided by 2 doesn't work. 21 divided by 3 gives us 7. So 3 times 7 equals 21. If you wanted to, you could keep going. So 21 divided by 4, 21 divided by 5, 21 divided by 6. Now the number that comes after 6 is 7, and 7 is already listed, so they're all my factors of 21. Similarly, you could do the same thing for 33. You have 1 times 33. My calculator, 33 divided by 2 divided by 3 goes in evenly to 11. So 3 times 11 is 33. So they're my factors there. I could keep going on and on, but I know that they're my only factors of 33. Ooh, that looks really weird. I'm sorry. Okay. So then you look under 21. I have 21, no 21. 7, no 7. 3, and there's a 3. You always want to take the biggest one underneath. So I know my GCF is 3. Now, they both have an x. You're taking the smaller one, which is x to the second. They both have a y. Y to the 3 is the smaller one. And like I said before, they don't both have a z, so you can't take the z. So that's the GCF. This one's least common multiple. Now, least common multiple, you're thinking big. So it's as big as this number or bigger than the biggest number. Okay, so 60 is the biggest number. So I'm looking for a bigger number than like 60 or bigger. So I got 180, 12, 12, 180. So 12 is not bigger than 60. Okay. So here you're just taking the biggest exponent. So it's going to be 180. But I have x to the 2 and I have x to the 4. You're not adding these or anything. You're just taking the bigger one. So the bigger one here is x4, so D is my answer. That's just the simple way of doing it. If you wanted to do it out, you could list the multiples like this. 36 times 1 times 2. Oh, so here. So you're going to be multiplying. So 36 times 2 is 72. You could do 36 times 3 or just keep on adding 36. So 36 times 3, 108. 36 times 4, 144. And then 36 times 5 will give you the 180. So you do this. Simple. You do the same thing with 60. I'm not going to show you on the calculator because that takes up too much time. So 60 times 1, 60 times 2, 60 times 3. I'm sorry, I might have stopped at 180 here for 36, even if it wasn't multiple choice, because I know that my LCM must contain a 0 because 60 ends in 0. Okay, so I kept on going until I got a number that ended in a 0. So 180 is this the least common multiple. I'm taking every single variable, so I have x to the 4 is the biggest. I have y2, so y2 is obviously bigger. And then z4 and z3, I'm going to go with z4 because it's bigger. Okay, so that's LCM there. 3 has to do with GCF. GCF small or smaller than. So you can keep on listing your factors and doing that. I'm going to show you the fast way. So it's either 15 or 3. We're thinking small, so we're not going to pick A or B. So it's either C or D. X2 or X. So you're taking the smaller one, which is just X. So D is your answer there. Okay. Number 4, LCM. LCM you think big, so I'm going to cross off B and C. Obviously x6 is big, but there is no x6 up here, so you're going to go with the x4. x4 is the biggest one that we have up here. Okay, if there is no x6, you can't take it. The last one, the GCF of x to the 4th power y to the k and x to the 3k y to the 3rd is x to the 4th y to the 2. What is the value of x, or of k, I'm sorry. So if you're looking for the GCF that is the greatest common factor, you're always taking the smaller exponent, okay? Since we're taking the smaller exponent and we're given the GCF, and I need to know what k is here or here, same thing. The easier one for me to figure out is the y to the k. So that's the one I'm going to look at. So if my GCF says that it's x to the 4th power is the smallest x, and y to the 2nd power is the smallest y, well, this y is to the 3rd power, so this one must be where they get the 2 from. So this number has to match this number here. So the answer here is B. And there you have it, GCF LCM.